Hello everyone, welcome back and thanks for checking out another video. Today's video I want to talk about why I think snakes make great pets. You might have been thinking about getting a snake, not quite sure if it's the right animal for you, maybe a little bit hesitant on their diet and what they eat. But overall, in my opinion, a snake is a great animal to have, and many pros, a few cons, but I feel more pros than cons. So yeah, I'll go over again why I think they make great pets, and yeah, just briefly, if you're on a busy schedule, don't have a whole lot of time in your day, you might really be interested in a snake because, like every animal, they do need some time, obviously, and some care. But snake, unlike a lot, you can leave be by themselves for quite some time and interact with them whenever you have time, and it's not really a lot of time that you need for them if you are a busy person. I think I will go over the cons first to get them out of the way, since there are not many that I can come up with. One might not be a con to everyone, but to a lot of people, they may be turned off that almost all snakes consume rodents, and some people do not feel easy about that and possibly never will. With the rodent diet, you can feed live, but frozen thawed is the safest for your snake and often the most common fed way. It's probably the most humane way also, so you don't have to watch the rodent suffer and being taken down by your snake. When feeding frozen thawed, after you do it enough, you do get over the initial feeling you might have had at the beginning. Really, when you do think about it, it really is no worse than buying a raw steak or chicken from your butcher or grocery store, really. There are also times that you shouldn't handle your snake, and that is often after you feed it. I would wait at least 2 days before handling it to avoid regurgitation. And another time you should avoid handling your snake is while it's in shed. While in shed, it can be harder for your snake to see what is happening, and handling it may stress it out and cause a possible defensive bite to you. I say these as cons because with those 2 times not to handle it, might be the times that you had planned to spend some time with it and handle your snake and end up not being able to. And those really are the only cons that are generally across the board with all snakes. However, there could be additional cons depending on the species of snake you're looking at getting, so definitely do your research and ask questions before picking the type of snake that you're getting. Okay, now on to the pros, and there are a lot, so I'll touch mainly on the selling ones. First, most snakes are extremely easy, low maintenance pets because depending on the age and type of snake, feeding ranges from every 5 to 7 days usually. When they're younger and growing, then it can drop to once every 2 weeks to 3 weeks when they're adults. And the what goes in must come out rule, they are going to the bathroom usually on that frequency also, so not much to clean up that often. Two, they can be left alone for a longer period of time compared to most pets, so if you end up going away for the weekend or a week's vacation, that usually is not a problem at all. So make sure they have a good sized water bowl at least, as that probably would be the only thing they would need while you're away for that long. There are some species that do require higher humidity and regular misting, so those wouldn't really apply to this unless you have an auto mister possibly. Cost of feeding is low depending on your choice of snake and depending on where you live. It could be somewhere around $4 a month to maybe $10 a month. And overall husbandry costs are low, just some bedding that does last a while with periodic spot cleaning. And most tanks require an under tank heat pad controlled by a thermostat. Uh, those under pad heaters are usually quite low wattage and don't consume a lot of electricity and don't cost a lot to operate. They're just a great pet overall. If you have a busy schedule, they'll be completely fine staying in their enclosure and in their hide and not coming out, so you don't have to feel like you're not giving them enough attention. And yeah, they're just completely, absolutely cool animals. Who can't be impressed by a snake? There are way more pros I can go on about, but I think that is enough to sell you on getting a snake possibly. If you are on the fence and not 100% sold on it, just know that most snakes will accept frozen thawed, but there are some cases that some simply will not and are a bit more picky. Usually that can apply to a ball python in some cases, so do check with the seller prior to buying your snake on what they are eating. Now, the few snakes that are exceptions to a rodent-only diet and will eat other things are a garter snake, and you can feed them a variety of items like pieces of frozen thawed fish or some worms, certain worms, or small pieces of raw chicken or pieces of raw chicken hearts and chicken liver. There are African egg-eating snakes. Rough green snakes are also other options, but with these snakes, they will need to be fed a little more frequently than snakes that are on a rodent diet. I think the last thing before finishing up is what snake to get. Lots of options here, but if it's your first snake, then something like a corn snake I think is an amazing option, or maybe a ball python, or a king snake, or a milk snake perhaps. The snake that you've been watching as I've been going through the video is a garter snake. A very curious and exploring little snake. I'll add a few more snakes through the end of the video here, just so you can kind of have a quick look at them. With garter snakes being really fun to watch, they are a little bit more harder to handle, very quick, so just do know that about them. And here we have Coco, my adult female ball python. She's about 10 years old and really great snake. Very calm. Will sit on around your neck for hours and not really move much at all. Usually it does hide a lot in its hides. Not as active as garter snake, but really calm, great snake. A little bit heavier bodied, bigger size than a corn snake would get, but males being a little bit smaller, 3.5 feet, 4 feet is common for them. All right, and here we have my corn snake, and about 1.5 years, so still quite a bit more growing to do. Excellent snake. Really enjoy it, as I do with all of my snakes. And this one here is going to be a thinner bodied snake than a ball python. A little bit more active than a ball python, but nowhere near as active as a garter snake, so pretty easy to handle and won't get away on you. Yeah, in length they're going to be pretty similar to what a ball python gets. Usually a little bit smaller, but some can grow to the around that 5 feet mark roughly. Just main difference is a lot thinner bodied snake. So excellent snake. But I think I'll wrap it up here anyway. So hope I've given some good information, and definitely, as always, if you do have any questions that I haven't went over here, please feel free, leave them down in the comments, and I will get to them and answer and help where I can. So anyways, I do appreciate you checking out another video, and we will catch you again.